We are so excited to have coffee with you all. And I know my digs look a little different today. We just PCS'd out west. I'm currently in lodging. So forgive me if you hear dogs barking or people up in the ceiling. They said they're going to be working above our room today. But you know what? MilSpouse Life, we can deal with anything. But I want to hand it over to Liz. How are you? I love seeing your face.
I love seeing your face. Hello from Florida, and for the first year in several, we're not PCSing. So hi from my guest room corner, and you're still going to hear loud noises because we live near a busy street. But hello, and thank you all so much for being here. We love, love, love connecting with all the military spouses out there, and we're just so happy that you're here with us today.
Yes, yes. So we decided, you know what, let's get together, have coffee, and just talk all things MilSpouse. And that's exactly what we want to do today. Look, and we have Trish who's joining us too. Let's see here. Trish is actually, she helps us with our military spouse programs, and she is joining us from Arizona. But I'm going to stop her video, and she is going to help you guys out in the chat box. Let's see here. Maybe. Morning, Trish. I know she said she had some technical difficulties earlier trying to get online. So let's see.
It looks like you might be frozen, Nicole, but
anyways,
don't worry. I'll keep an eye on
I
it.
know.
And I'll let you ladies get
we'll
to
keep
it.
Going.
Nicole, cheers.
No worries. I know we see Trish. Cheers, everybody. And I don't have my USO mug today because we PCS'd. I packed it, but I can't find it. So I have my mug. It's my Airstream mug, one of my favorite mugs right now. So cheers to you, Liz. Cheers to everybody joining us. Here we go.
Cheers to all the MilSpouses joining us. Whatever's in your cup, we're here for it.
Yeah, computer issues and all. So let's jump right into, speaking of coffee. Yesterday was National Coffee Day, and we want to know, what entertainer would you want to have coffee with? So if you guys want to put that in the chat box, we would love to see your feedback. And we actually started this conversation in our USO Military Spouse Facebook group yesterday, and I loved seeing everything that was coming through that. I think I would pick, it was tough because I was trying to think who would I want to have coffee with? And so I'm thinking of, different chefs that I just love watching because I'm obsessed with Top Chef and those types of shows. But I really am obsessed with everything Reese Witherspoon right now. So I just love her work. I love what she's doing. What about you, Liz? Who would you have coffee with right now?
I love Reese Witherspoon. And I know I was thinking, I was watching all the answers come in on our USO MilSpouse Facebook group, and every single one that came in, I was like, yes, yes to that person. To that person. I'm elbowing my mug. Somebody had put in there The Rock. That would be amazing.
Yes.
There were so many good answers, but I have to say right now, and this is not like an enduring answer, but right now I'm reading Jessica Simpson's book, Open Book, and she and I are the same age, and I feel like we grew up in this world together and had kids at the same time, so I'm totally relating to a lot of her story right now. So my person for this week, if I could sit down and have coffee and just talk, would be Jessica Simpson, as far as celebrity goes. But I'm happy to be here with you, Nicole. You're a celebrity of mine.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the moment. I'm with you. We're with all of the spouses around the world. So I saw we had spouses from Japan and Florida and Texas. I know. Where else are you guys from? I want to see some more stuff in the chat box where everybody else is from. But yeah,
I saw somebody said they were joining us from Okinawa.
Great group with us today. And I did want to, yay, good. Well, that's San Diego, awesome. Oh, gorgeous too. My internet is a little unstable.
Hi, Jill in Okinawa. It's 1 a.m. and you're with us. Are you drinking coffee? Do you work the night shift? I'm dying to know. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. I would love to know what's in your cup at 1 a.m. Oh, you're in bed. Bless you. We're so glad that you're here. I lived in Okinawa for 6 years and I miss it. It's where I met my husband. So many good memories in Okinawa. I love the sunrises and the sunsets. Ooh, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yes, Vanessa. I'm obsessed with the Hamilton soundtrack right now. Caught it on Disney Plus this summer. Yes, totally. Oh, okay. That's MilSpouse life.
I'm still yeah, no, I'm still trying to get the chance to watch Hamilton. I saw that it's, now streaming, so I've been trying to listen to it because I know everybody's obsessed with it, something that needs to happen. And then also you were talking about books and what we're reading, and I have years. I mean, I've started maybe a couple chapters and then put it down, but it's just I'm in that season where I want to read a book, but I just don't have time with two little ones. So yeah, we'll get there though. So I definitely need to make a list of all of the fabulous books you guys are reading out there, and Jessica Simpson's book to be included. I want to check that one out as well. So
I feel like I've just re-emerged from that season of life. Like my kids are just starting to read on their own now, so they can take a book and do their thing. And I think it was the whole pandemic thing. Like we were home and I had bookshelves full of books, and even if I'd already read some of them, I was thinking, well, I want to read this again. And then there was a book I wanted to read, Jessica Simpson's book last week, and I wanted it before my kids had dance class because I sit for an hour and a half to wait. And so I took out my Kindle, which needed to be charged. I hadn't used it in that long, and I just downloaded it. So thank goodness for ebooks, right? We can have them like that. We just want everything right wherever we are.
yes, good. All right. Well, we'll have to make a list of all the books and book clubs too. I know that there's wonderful book clubs out there. And it's funny because I'm the girl that would sign up for a book club and, people would start talking about the book, and I would be totally fine with just hanging out and having adult interaction and just saying, you know what? I didn't read the book, but I'm glad I'm here with you all. And I just want to hear y'all talk about it. So I don't know if there's anybody else out there like that right now, but I heard, book clubs are a great way, which is also a wonderful segue into, since we just PCS to a new location, and I know a lot of the military spouses out there have moved the past couple months as well, and have, will in the upcoming years. I want to talk about meeting new friends. And Liz, when you move to a new location, what do you do to make new friends, get involved in the community? Give me your best tips, because we've been here for a couple days and now's the time to start doing all the things.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've done a lot of moves. We've lived overseas 3 different times, twice in Japan and once in Germany.
Oh, wow.
And we've lived in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different states. Some of them a couple times, 5. I was forgetting Virginia. Sorry, Virginia. But, FRG groups when we were overseas, especially in Okinawa, that was like my first introduction to being a MilSpouse. The FRG group kind of took us in, especially when our husbands were deployed, or wives as well. But over there, it was all guys. And so that was how I met a lot of people and got really involved with the events. I will say that at the time, the FRG threw a lot of family events and really like kids events, trunk or treat and fundraisers like that for families. And I didn't have kids at the time, but I absolutely loved volunteering for those when I could, just to get involved and to meet some of the other spouses. So for me, when it was overseas, it was FRG. Honestly, in the States, my kids and my dog are how I meet people. I take the dog for a walk. I have a pug, and people love pugs. They like gravitate towards
Oh, yeah.
And it's the best conversation starter ever. So playgrounds and dog parks when they're open. How about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because we are currently in lodging. We're on base, and we have met so many people at the playground with our kids. But it's amazing how that, yeah, like you said, having your kids, or if you had a dog, I'm sure that's a great way to meet people. But, it's one of those things too, where I feel like you just have to get outside your comfort zone and just, do some research, see what's available. I saw that there's a thing here that I attended when we lived in Ramstein, when I was a brand new military spouse, called HeartLink, and it's for Air Force military spouses. And that was one of the first events as a military spouse that I attended, and I made friends there, and I learned more about the Air Force. So I saw that they were offering one here, a course, and I signed up for it because I'm putting myself out there. And granted, I've been a military spouse for several years now, but I still know that I'm going to learn more about the military, about the community, and make some friends. So looking forward to that. And then I saw that there's an event coming up where there's yoga and brunch, and it's here on base. So I signed up for that. I don't know anybody, but I'm just going to put myself out there. I like yoga. If I meet somebody else that likes yoga, then you know what? We're probably going to have a lot of other things in common. So I think it's just, you just have to go and, you know, and show up and just be friendly and be that friendly face, and hopefully you'll make some friends. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted.
Absolutely. And I love organically, people are sharing in the chat box. I'm seeing everything pop up. Sorry if my eyes keep going down, it's because I'm looking at the chat box. I love sharing ways to get involved. Megan said Junior League and JCs. Those are such cool ideas. You know, school age kids, PTA, absolutely. I mean, heck, just eating or joining the PTA Facebook page for my kids' school was a great way to start meeting people, because everyone was talking about whose class their kids were going to be in. So you could see a familiar name with a teacher and start meeting people that way. Absolutely. I will say when we moved
when Larissa, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was going to say, Larissa threw out their Stroller Warriors, and I've heard that Stroller Warriors is a really, really good one too, because that's an organization that's all around the world for military spouses, and you don't have to have kids to join it. So even if you don't run, they'll let you come and walk. So you know what? I might be signing up for one of those in the near future too.
Yes, and sometimes it's not even just joining the group, but maybe volunteering for a group.
Yes.
If there's a USO on your base, of course, you can go and volunteer for the USO. We're always looking for volunteers. We've had a lot of people join our Facebook group saying that they're looking for opportunities to volunteer. So if anybody's looking for USO volunteer opportunities, we do have a volunteer website. I'll ask Danielle and Trish if they can put it in the chat box for everybody, but it's volunteers.uso.org. And you can go on there and see what kind of volunteer opportunities are available where you are, because you never know who you might meet there as well. Like-minded people, for sure.
So true. So true. And I mean, yeah, you're going to be connected with people that already live in your community, and you might have some senior spouses that can tell you all the tips and tricks. It's one of those things when you get to a new location, you're like, just tell me everything I need to know. Like, tell me all the good restaurants, all the good shops, everything, so that I don't have to make the mistake of going to places that just aren't my favorite. But yeah, no, absolutely. Volunteer, everybody. That's another thing I need to sign up and do. And check it out to get involved. So
and can we talk about, I mean, this is really how Coffee Connections came to be. We're sitting here on Coffee Connection Live, and this is a spin-off of our in-person Coffee Connection. So Nicole, do you want to tell everybody, I mean, maybe people are familiar with it, I don't know, put in the chat box if you guys have been to an in-person Coffee Connection before, but maybe Nicole can tell everybody the story about how Coffee Connections came to be.
Yeah, so it created Coffee Connections basically from feedback from military spouses saying, we love to get together and make friends. And we want something where we can have a monthly touch point with other military spouses to just connect. So introducing Coffee Connections, USO Coffee Connections. And basically what it is, it's for military spouses to come to a USO location or somewhere nearby the area and have coffee with each other and just make friends and connect. And there's no agenda. Sometimes there's a guest speaker, but really at the end of the day, we just want military spouses to come together and make friends. And it started in about 12 different locations, and it's grown so much. We're worldwide now. It's at over 65 locations, and it's growing into 2021. We're building the calendar for 2021, and it's just really cool to see the stories of the spouses that are like, I just became best friends with somebody that lived down the street from me for the past 2 years. Like, we came together at Coffee Connections and just had so much in common that it just took a cup of coffee to, you know, to spark that conversation and make friends. So we're really excited about these around the world. So check out your USO Facebook page to see if you have those near you. We're also doing USO virtual Coffee Connections for the locations that just can't get in person right now. So you'll see some locations are able to do that. So you'll have the in-person Coffee Connections, but also doing the virtual Coffee Connections. And of course, we love Coffee Connection Live because then we can connect with everyone around the world. So that's why we love doing this.
Yes, the people who.
What am I missing?
who are
Because
so
you helped me
nearby.
with all things. Yeah.
Yeah, we really want to reach out to the people who aren't near an actual USO center, or like Nicole said, where you just can't get together with more than a few people at a time. And it's hard. So virtual Coffee Connections and Coffee Connection Live, please join us every month. We love having you all here. We love talking with you. Nicole,
Yeah.
we have to
Yes.
go back to something that you said earlier. You just PCS'd across the country. And did you mention that you did it with kids?
Oh boy. Yes.
I mean, you're like a superhero in my mind right now. Talk us through what just happened. How did you guys do it? I saw what it said on your mug. Tell us how PCS.
So it's funny because, is it funny though? But it's funny because our first PCS was just my husband and I, and that was overseas to Germany. And, you know, it was just kind of like, you don't know what you don't know. So it's just kind of like, okay, this is how it is. And it was fine. And we got through it. And it, you know, it ended up being one of the best assignments we've ever had, just because we love to travel. We came back to the East Coast. We had kids, and we PCS just about 3 hours from one destination to the other destination. Again, very doable. But this time it was like a cross-country move, like you said, with kids during a pandemic. And we're like, what? What is this? What did we do? How are we going to do this? So we ended up buying a camper, which we're very excited about, and it's an Airstream, but we bought a used one. So we decided that what we were going to do is just camp our way across country and stay at different campgrounds along the way with the kids. And it ended up being a really, really great experience. It's one of those things too, like, what do you put in your car and in your suitcase when you go this far? Because honestly, we don't even have a house yet, and it might take a couple weeks, months. So we're going to be living out of our suitcase and our cars essentially for the next couple of weeks with kids. So it's just, it was definitely experience. I think you just have to be in the right mindset, and just, you know, even if it is just not going the way it should be, you just have to live in the moment and laugh it off and enjoy it and try to make the best of it, because it's the memories that you make. And camping was really, really cool to see different locations we've never been to. The people out at the campsites were just wonderful, and just seeing all the beautiful sights and everything like that. So have you guys done anything like that before, where you went cross country? Or what are your best tips with kids and packing all the things in your suitcase?
I will tell you, I am not a camper.
No? Oh, Liz.
There's not running water and a flushing toilet. And to be fair, I've never done an Airstream before. But growing up, my parents used to like bring a little tent and take us camping, and it was not for me personally. But Airstream does sound like maybe the way to go, or just any kind of RV. We've never done a cross country PCS. We've kind of stayed up and down the East Coast, but like I said, we have PCS'd overseas 3 times. Two to Japan. We didn't have our kids yet. So like you said, you sort of just throw your stuff in a suitcase and you go, and it's an adventure. And we had some horror stories living in TLF before we had our housing in Okinawa, to include a room that flooded one time mysteriously while our computers were on the floor. But the PCS to Germany, I tell you what, we knew we had to pack for like 2 months without our stuff because it had to go across the Atlantic. But we had more toys than we had clothes, because we knew we had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at the time. And we knew we were going to have to live in a bunch of different hotels. We had no idea we would find housing. We didn't even know what to expect with housing over there. So lots and lots of toys. And at the time, my kids were really into Peppa Pig DVDs. So we had 2 little DVD players, and they watched Peppa Pig DVDs in the hotel a lot. And then when we got there, we just explored, similar to what you did, only not overnight trips. We just went on road trips to get out of the hotel. And we really got to know, and this goes for everywhere we've been, we really just got to know where we were living. And through that, we met other people who were in the same boat. And man, TLF life is really good for meeting people who just got there, and they have that same deer in headlights look that we all do. You're like, well, we're all in this together. We might as well hang out.
Yes, it's so true. And I mean, even I like where you said where you kind of get out and explore. I feel like every day I'm trying to take our kids and just load up the car and find somewhere new here in the location. And, you know, I might be saying this wrong, but kind of as a military spouse, you have to live like a tourist in your own city, so you can explore. But then when you're at a location that you know, then you live like a, no, is it live like a local? I'm saying it so wrong. Like, no, you live like a local. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna have to help me with it. But it's something like live like a local and like explore all the spots, but then live like a tourist. And I know I'm saying that all wrong, and I need more coffee. But it's to get out there and explore, you know?
You've shared it with me before because you were the first person I ever saw it say it or heard say it. Gosh, we need more.
It's one of those things I have to Google first before I say it, and then I'm like, it's supposed to be like this.
Live like a tourist, travel like a local, or
something like that.
Somebody out.
But what I'm trying to say is basically go out and explore, you know, I mean, get uncomfortable and find we just found the best cookie spot here in the city, and it is amazing. So I will definitely be going there. It's a local store, so supporting local. And then we went and found a local coffee spot, yay for coffee. But just taking the time to kind of explore and seeing your neighborhood, I think is really important.
Totally important. And then how do you find time for yourself though? I mean, if you've been living in an Airstream for a month now, and now you're in CLF, you don't have your own little corner of the world to go to right now. So how are you making time for yourself?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because it's funny that in all of our Coffee Connection lives, all of our guest speakers always talk about how important it is to take time for yourself, and just that 10 to 15 minutes a day or more if you can squeeze it in there. So what I'm really trying to do is find quiet when I can and just enjoy it. But really, what I've been doing here is once the day is kind of wrapped and the kids are asleep, I like to just kind of go for a walk and explore where I'm at. And whether that be quiet time for me, making some phone calls to friends, or just listening to music. I am obsessed with just listening to music right now. And just, it's funny because I'm like, I didn't even know that song existed. How long has it been out? Like, is Taylor Swift a country music radio artist again? Like, is she singing country again? Is that a thing? I don't know. But I was, you don't know? We'll have to check in the chat box. But, oh, good. Jill said, live like a tourist, travel like a local. That is what I was trying to say. Thank you, Jill. I'm hugging.
And it's 1 a.m. where Jill is. She's more on right now.
Diana, no coffee.
More pop now. I'm so behind. Such a mom.
But what are you doing then for making time for yourself? Because I know that you wake up really early. Do you wake up every morning? Or tell us your routine for making time for you.
You know, I've always been someone who likes to work out. When I was younger, it was running, and then I gave that up. I've always liked to work out early in the morning. If I don't get it done early in the morning, I just won't do it. I'm so tired at night. Like my husband calls me a solar ranger. I'm up with the sun and I'm down with the sun. So I set my alarm for 5:15 or 5:30, depending on the day. And I try a 40-minute workout. The goal has always been to do it before the kids are awake, but lately the kids are up before I am. So they're like sitting on the side watching me do it, or just playing with toys around my feet. But that is my time, and they know it. And for Christmas last year, my husband got me some of those noise canceling headphones that go over your ears. And I taught my kids, like, when I'm wearing these, I can't hear you. So if you need something, you either need to wait or you need to go find daddy. And so it truly is my time now, because if they come up and they start talking, I just point to my head, even if I can't hear them, they don't need to know. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help you right now. Like, this is mommy's time. So for me, it's first thing in the morning, because by the end of the day, I'm half asleep.
And are you doing like cardio, weights? Like what are you doing?
For me, I like a mix of both. And I just do my workouts at home. We did recently join the Y, but I haven't been there to work out yet. I've done workouts at home since my first daughter was born 8 years ago. I do a mix of cardio and weights. I feel better when I do that, but I also recently did a bar, like a ballet bar program.
Yeah.
Everybody else on has done that. You're literally lifting 1 and 2 pound weights and then just your body. And it is so hard. But so good. I loved it. And I felt like I was dancing all day long because I just felt so graceful. My posture was a lot better then. But usually a mix of cardio and weights. Yeah, that's just what works for me. I know everybody's different though. Yeah, Corinne says bars hard on the legs and arms. Totally. I think I got more definition in my arms doing that than anything else.
Yeah, I love that. And I know a lot of people are excited about I'm just going to say this wrong, the Pelotonin bike or whatever. It's incredibly expensive is what I've heard. But, or even just any kind of spinning or something like that. It doesn't have to be that brand, but that kind of like a trainer in your house or something like that would be really cool too, to have a bike. Or I used to have a bike like that in our house, and then I would just watch a movie and bike away. I think these are things that I need to add back to my list once we get our household goods. So many things I can do once we have our stuff back.
Find your USO mug first, and then set up your gym. Yeah, I feel like when the pandemic dropped and we all were forced to stay home back in March, everybody started working out at home because they had to. And for some people it was a routine, but for some people it was just sanity and like an anxiety release. And I think at one time you couldn't even get a Peloton bike. You still can't find a set of weights anywhere. Yeah. Everything's on back order. I think it's great though, because so many people are getting what they call a quarantine bod. Like I said, I've always been an advocate for working out at home. It's just what works for me. And it's so fun to see other people getting into it with all these different venues, whether it's a bike or a treadmill or a rowing machine. My husband wants to buy a rowing machine.
Yeah, so does mine. What is that?
What is that? Why? She can't find plates to save your lives. I know. My husband's trying to build a home gym. He just got back from a deployment where he got really into CrossFit. So our gym, which used to have 2 SUVs in it just fine, or our garage had 2 SUVs, is now his gym. And he's trying to find plates, and he's like bartering with people online, like, oh, I see you just bought those. Will you send me one and I'll pay you double? Like, he's crazy about it right now. He wants a rower and he wants a gym. We can't compete with deployment, I guess.
No, give him what he wants. Rower, the holidays are coming up. I mean, that's an easy gift. Not really, because where do you hide that? Well, in the garage.
How do you wrap a rower?
I don't, a lot of newspaper. I mean, because then you're kind of recycling. I don't know.
Maybe just a really big row.
Keep us posted on that one. Let us know how it goes.
I will. San Diego, a bunch of people bought them and they're charging triple the price. Are you kidding me? That's like scalping exercise equipment. That's just not fair. For plates. Oh my goodness.
It's not okay.
I mean, we can just fill up buckets with concrete and go from there, right?
Oh. Jill said, use a blanket to wrap. That's actually brilliant. You know, and then you have the blanket for you later.
I mean,
fine.
I get the blanket. Yes.
Coffee. Get a nice cup of pumpkin spice latte. Who loves pumpkin spice latte?
I
don't.
And people who are watching the recording are only going to see you or me, so they're not going to see that I was doing this. I'm one of those, I'm not going to hate on you for liking your pumpkin spice. I'm not the kind of person who's going to put up memes that are like, take your pumpkin spice and dump it out.
Right. Let's not.
Thing. I thought it would be sweet. I really like sweet coffee.
It is though. How many times have you, we need to talk about this just for a quick second. How many times have you had one? Did you drink it more than 3 times? Or have you only had it once and you said, I don't like it anymore?
Maybe twice. I think I had it hot and then I tried it iced because I'm an iced coffee drinker. My parents grew up in New England and so they were always drinking iced coffee and it's in me. I think I had one hot, didn't like it, tried it iced, and I need to try it again. Maybe it takes a 3rd time like we tell our kids, right?
Yeah, I think you need to try it one more time, give it a go, and let us know what you think, because I tried it for the first time, I remember, and I did not like it, and I was like, what's the hype? Tried it again, and I really like it, and I like it hot and iced, so I'm wondering if our friends. Oh, Jenny says she doesn't understand the obsession over pumpkin spice. I'm so sorry, but that's okay. It's totally fine. Oh, a pumpkin spice chai latte, Vanessa said. So,
chai might be good now because chai has like a sweetness to it, like natural. Oh yes, peppermint mochas. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. I'm a peppermint.
Well, too. I need to have the right seat. Like I have to have the pumpkin spice and then phase that out. And then I go into the peppermint probably until about springtime. And then springtime, I'm like, now what do I drink?
I think I'm the girl who still goes to Starbucks in the summer and asks if they can make me a peppermint mocha. I'm like, it's hot out. I need a peppermint mocha.
Refreshing. It's refreshing. It's fine.
I kind
It's
of love this.
fine.
I kind of love seeing everyone's reactions in real time. Usually when we do this, we have someone who's not the USO with us. And so you feel unprofessional answering the chats that are coming in, but this is kind of fun. Ooh, caramel brulee. Jamie, that sounds good. We might have lost Nicole.
Yeah. This is great. Oh, caramel brulee. Yes.
We're gonna let Nicole catch up. I think her video paused for a minute.
Oh,
In the UK.
well,
Yeah.
and it says
The mango dragon fruit refresher at Starbucks. That's super good. Oh, Heather, thank you so much for being here. We're so glad this is your first one. Welcome. I love it.
welcome, Heather.
And if anybody's on here and you keep hearing us talking about the USO Military Spouse Facebook group, this is like a brand new thing that we haven't technically been allowed to launch like officially, but we're going to put the link in the chat box. So if you haven't joined it yet, please join. It is a private group. We keep it private so that we can share information on what's happening with like events around the world, especially Coffee Connections. And we wanted a place where military spouses felt like they could come together safely with other military spouses and just network and share community. And like I said, we posted on there the which celebrity would you like to have coffee with? And we got a whole bunch of people's responses. And last week we did, where are you located? Because so many people join and they want to make local friends, but they don't know anybody. I swear one night we had 8 people join from a joint base in New Jersey and they didn't know each other. So the next morning is when we posted like, where is everybody located? Let's make some connections. And it's amazing to follow that thread and see how many people said, well, I didn't know you're here. Let's meet up. And it just warms our hearts. Really, it does.
We love making the connections. And I want to make sure my internet's back. Are we back? Am I back? Okay, good. Yes, for internet connection. Thanks, guys, for sticking with me. We do want to make sure you guys are all connecting with each other. And this is the cool thing about when you're joining us live, because we also air these after the fact because these are recorded. So I want everybody that has a LinkedIn profile to go ahead and put that in the chat box as well, so you all can connect with each other and just make friends and reach out and network. It's all about connecting and helping each other out with what you're looking for. So I'm going to put mine in there and then I'll put Liz's in there as well. So I just want to start seeing some LinkedIn profiles coming up.
Thanks, Nicole.
Here's mine. Yeah.
Another thing that we said we were going to touch on today, because I love talking with my MilSpouse friends about this. Everybody's lived in so many different places and has so much exposure to different meals. What are we cooking right now? Nicole, you're traveling, you're in TLF, you don't have your full kitchen with you. What are you cooking right now for everybody? Or are you cooking? Do you cook? Tell us.
Let's talk about what I'm cooking. So pre-children, I was the chef and I love to cook and try new recipes and explore and try all kinds of fun stuff. But now we're going to go back to talking about seasons. I'm in the season where I'm like, I can't do this. So my husband is now the primary chef, bless his heart. So whenever he's away, then I will whip out a really nice gourmet meal of chicken nuggets with a nice assortment of mixed vegetables, with a side of very gourmet applesauce and a nice refreshing glass of milk. And you know what? My critics love it. My little people, they absolutely think that's the best meal ever. And they're happy, so I'm happy. So that right now in TLF is what's on the menu. I mean, I get a little crazy. Sometimes I'll make some chili or something like that. But I do look forward to the day that I can, again, just kind of focus and spend some time, listen to some Italian music in the background, Frank Sinatra, or like Michael Bublé, have a glass of wine, and just really spend an hour prepping and then making something beautiful. So that's where we're at right now. I'm admitting it to you all. Let's just keep it behind closed doors, or at least within our Coffee Connection Live group. That's what we're doing right now. What about you? What are you cooking? What's going on in your kitchen?
First of all, if I were you, I would shout it from the rooftops that your husband is the chef, because that's like gold.
Yeah. He's pretty
I
fabulous.
feel like I'm in the season where I cook the same 5 or 6 meals over again because my kids are a little bit older than yours. They can't, well, maybe they would. They would probably eat chicken nuggets every night. But I'm
Yeah.
looking at their palates a little bit. So our rotation has a lot of tacos. My kids will eat soft tacos only. It has chicken. We got an Instant Pot for Christmas. Well, I gave my husband an Instant Pot, but he didn't get to use it. I got to use it. But I remember talking about this on Coffee Connection Live in April when we had the Diva Chef on. And I said, Elise, I've got this Instant Pot and I'm scared to death of it and I don't know what to do. And she said, I've got one and I've never used it. So I thought, well, if the Diva Chef isn't using it, shoot, I'm doomed. But I've learned how to use the Instant Pot. I put a whole chicken in there and it comes out as a rotisserie chicken and it'll tell you, 25 minutes to rotisserie chicken. No. It takes an hour and a half total from like start to finish, but delicious. So a lot of chicken, a lot of tacos. My kids love schnitzel from living in Germany. And I have
Das ist gut.
to make schnitzel. Yeah, ist gut. So a couple, once a week, we have schnitzel and spätzle, which we can still get at the commissary, thankfully, the same kind that we would eat over there. And actually, my kids love shrimp and salmon. So I will say, we get our fish in there with shrimp and salmon. But my husband's a hunter, and he's really itching for us to eat some venison, and I hate preparing it. Something about knowing that he killed it that makes me not want to harvest. So I feel like we're gonna have to get back to that now that it's winter time and getting into hunting season. I'm curious. Ooh, taco rice from Okinawa. I just happened to look down, Heather, and see that. Yeah, taco rice. In fact,
explain what taco rice is.
If you just think of like tacos, but instead of in a shell or a tortilla, it's over rice. So you've got a bed of rice, you've got your taco meat, your lettuce, your tomato. When I was living there, I heard an urban legend. I don't know if it's true, but the Americans brought it over in World War II. And maybe if you guys are still there, you know the truth. But that's what they told us at the USO on Futenma when they served taco rice. They said, well, the Americans wanted tacos and there was no tortillas or taco shells, so we just put it on rice because there was rice everywhere. It's like a thing that they're known for over there. Kind of like a burrito bowl, yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay, now I'm craving that. So lunch, yep. Okay, that sounds amazing. Taco rice. See, you learn something new every day, every Coffee Connection Live. But then I'm also, have you tried out any of the subscription boxes before? Because there's a couple that I've used before, and I really like them, but I don't know how have you guys tried any of them?
No, I'm like this weird subscription averse when it comes to boxes. I haven't tried any of the subscription boxes that everyone was doing during for all of 2020. No, I tried any of the meal ones.
Well, yeah, I got away from it for now, but it is helpful too when you have a busy schedule and it's just delivered right to your door. So I'm curious to see if other people, people are putting some good ones out there. Thank you, Kristen, for that one. Fresh.
All right. Is anybody else kind of subscription averse like I feel like I am? Or is it, I don't know, everything's a subscription now. And I have my fair share of, things that come monthly, nutrition supplements and whatnot. But just wondering if anybody else feels weird about it or if it's just so much easier now, like ordering groceries online, which I will be the first to admit I take advantage of.
I really appreciate that. It's almost like it's easier. It's super convenient just to go online, pick what you need, and then you're not doing the impulse buying where you're like, oh, I really want this and that and this. Like this, you can stick to your list, and then you know what the portions are and everything like that. So I do appreciate the curbside pickup. But I know some locations people are like, it's just not offered here, or my grocery store isn't doing it. So I know that can be tough too. But
have you explored the grocery stores out where you are now? Or are you pretty much just sticking to the commissary right now?
Well, I went to a grocery store off base and checked it out, and I was really excited. Really excited just to kind of explore and see what they had to offer, because it is, it seems like in different states and different locations that they offer different types of things. So it was kind of exciting just to explore. And I went down every single aisle. And I was there for so long that when I got home, my husband's like, where did you go? And I was like, the grocery store. He's like, but where else did you go? And I'm like, no, I was at the grocery store, and I was loving every minute of it. So that was, I mean, don't get me out of the house. I'll get crazy at the grocery store. But yeah, I mean, I think exploring the grocery stores here will be cool. But I really liked living in Germany. There was Lidl, if I'm saying that right. And I saw, in Aldi and stuff like that. I really like those stores as well, because they offer some of the things that we could get in Germany, and appreciate those types of places as well. What about you? Are you doing off base or off installation type shopping, or?
We live like 40 minutes from the base. And while I love the commissary for a lot of stuff, like that's where I get my frozen shrimp, it's where I get our spätzle. It's just not a convenient trip to make. And my kids have gone back to school in person, which is awesome, but it means my day is much more structured and I can't just drive 40 minutes to go to the commissary. So we go there maybe once a month and pick up sort of the necessities that are just cheaper and easier to get. But otherwise, we've got a grocery store just a couple blocks away, far enough to drive, not close enough to walk. But they have an awesome ordering service that I found when my husband deployed last year. And at the time, it was truly out of necessity because I just didn't have time between work and school and the kids to go to the grocery store by myself. Taking the kids to the grocery store is one of my least favorite activities of all time.
Why?
Oh, it's the worst. Yes, Laura, I'm with you. Anyway, yes, I go to the store maybe once a week. I'll send my husband on the weekends because he likes to grill. And I say, if you're going to grill, then you got to go get what you're going to get. But there's just something therapeutic about walking the aisles of a grocery store when you don't have anything. And I'm sitting here thinking, we are such adults now. Like, when did going to the grocery store become so relaxing?
I don't know, but maybe that's the key to happiness right now, is to go to the grocery store without children and just enjoy it. Just enjoy looking at that broccoli.
Yes. Scrutinize all the produce and pick out one. And I am not going to hate on you for it because I'm going to wait back here and do it after you're done.
Right. Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, and speaking of shopping and grocery stores and everything like that, I did want to kind of tell you about my secret obsession of installation on base thrift stores. I am obsessed. And I was introduced to this when we went overseas. When we were in Germany, I walked into one and it was just like, oh, like there was so much fun stuff. Like, and it was cool because there were things from, the local economy that was for sale. But then even when you come back stateside, there's so many different types of things because all of the families have traveled all over, and then they're donating these wonderful things at the thrift stores. Are you obsessed as much as I am, or is this just me? I don't know. I'm curious to see what the spouses that are joining us have to say.
I loved the overseas thrift shops. I feel like they're probably a bigger deal when you're overseas.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone else had this experience or you, Nicole, when you guys were in Germany, but it seems like we want certain American things when we're setting up our homes, and we can't always get them overseas, but the thrift shop has them. So I was kicking myself when we got to Germany and I hadn't brought like a bunch of the baby stuff that we knew we were gonna never use again, but we had put it into storage thinking we'll just sell it later. We should have brought it over and given it to the thrift shop so that other people could have it. But what I loved with our thrift shop over there was they had a Christmas time where like they would kick off their Christmas season. People would wait. There was like a line through the parking lot to get into the thrift shop. It was Patch Barracks in Stuttgart. The Patch thrift shop. I mean, it had trees. It was so well organized, completely volunteer run by the spouses. It was just super impressive. Like, it was fun to go shopping at the thrift shop. And I agree, anything you could ever need. And if it's a really well organized one, so much fun.
Well, and it's funny because the baby, or when I pick up the kids, they have like spaghetti sauce and everything like that all over them. And the babysitter's always like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's totally fine. That was like a quarter. Like, yes. Get them as dirty as you want. As long as they're fed and happy, I don't care. So yeah, deals like that. And like you said, like the German stuff and during the holidays, or like just the local Christmas stuff and the holiday stuff, like you said, you can find some really cool things. So
yeah,
I'm looking to see, I see Diana's talking about the thrift stores. Yep. Yeah. Linda loves them too. Yay. Good. I love it. Good stuff.
We have,
Well, let's see here.
we have about 12 minutes. Are there any questions for us? I mean, I don't see anything in the Q&A box, but do y'all have any questions for us about USO stuff? Any topics you want to chit chat about? We're here. We've got our coffee. You want to take a selfie?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
We always invite people to take a selfie with your computer and hold it up and share it on social media with us and say you came and had coffee with us today. We're so cheap.
I'm sorry that I don't have my USO mug, guys.
We can superimpose it. We'll use Photoshop later and put your USO logo on your Airstream mug. Sorry.
Well, and I was telling you guys earlier, well, at least that my USO team, that I'm obsessed with Sarah Blakely right now, another person who I would love to have coffee with. She's the CEO or owner or creator of Spanx, and she always poses the coolest pictures, and it's kind of like this, you know, and she like her mugs always have quotes on them that are so fun, and just I don't know, you guys will have to check her out and see if you like her as much as I do, but now I'm just secretly wanting to do this all the time and be like, hey,
so I'm curious,
you know?
does she have like her makeup done when you can only see her eyes? Is it like her hair and makeup is done, or is she in the messy mom bun like I would be doing that?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I mean, and you know, I think I believe she's on Instagram. I think that's where I'm seeing her pictures. But you know, I just feel like she's so real, and she'll just like live in the moment, and you definitely know how she's feeling because of what her mug's saying. So I think that's a lot of fun. But
I mean,
I'm excited to see everybody's selfies with their mugs too.
She created Spanx, so I mean, she gets it. High five.
Oh, she does. Definitely. And I know we're coming up on Halloween. So when you were a kid, what was the best or worst Halloween costume that you've ever had or worn?
Oh my gosh, that is the funnest question, and I have answers. My mom had a sewing machine, and she was so good at sewing everything. I mean, she like made all of her clothes growing up. Her mom made her clothes. It was a thing. I don't have a sewing machine, so you know where this is going. My mom made me the coolest Halloween costumes every year, and one year I was Rainbow Bright. And not just any old Rainbow Bright. Like this was an elaborate Rainbow Bright costume. She made me a wig. She made me the dress. I had the arm things. I had the boots, and it was stuffed and fluffy. I mean, it was amazing. And I think I probably tried to wear it several years in a row, and I was 5 when she made it, so I grew out of it pretty quickly. But yeah, I think she lent it to someone, and we never saw it again, which is unfortunate.
No.
Super cute in it, but yeah.
Well, maybe we'll see it at the thrift store.
Oh, I should check that.
Right?
What do you have a memorable one?
I mean, I don't know if this is real or if I'm making this up in my head, but I have this vision of me wearing like a little ghost costume when I was really little. And I swear what my mom did was just use like a pillowcase and cut out the eyes. And like, I was just like this tiny little ghost. It's like, I mean, I get it because you're a busy mom, but you know, a pillowcase as a ghost. I mean, it worked, I think. But I love Halloween. I think I trick-or-treated up until I was a senior in high school. And my neighbors definitely let me know, you shouldn't be doing this anymore, Nicole. You're a little old, you know, and I mean, who doesn't love to get free candy? So when did you stop trick-or-treating, or is the senior in high school too old?
I did not do it in high school. The last time I remember was 7th grade. I remember dressing as a baby. I grew up in Wisconsin, and it snowed that year on Halloween. But I was in jeans, and I remember having long sleeves on and then a long blonde wig to try to look like a hippie. And we went to a house, and one of the people opened the door and said, "I'm not giving you candy because you're too old to be trick-or-treating." So that's my last trick-or-treating memory, was 7th grade.
You're like, okay, and I'm done. I'm wondering if anybody, they're talking about all kinds of stuff in the chat box. Let's see here. We're talking about, anniversary, 25th anniversary gifts, stuff like that. Oh my gosh, this is fabulous. See, this is why you have to join us live, so you can join in on the chat box conversation. 25 years is a long time. Congrats.
Colleen was the Hulk one year for Halloween. I love that. I bet that was warm. We always had a thing.
Yeah. I know it was just kind of like layers, and then at the end of the day, you're so layered up. It's like, what is your costume? What are you supposed to be?
I know, because everybody looks like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Do you remember?
Right.
Age myself, Ghostbusters references.
Oh my gosh. And we were talking about commercials that we absolutely loved. And Liz brought up like the Double Mint twins. And I'm like, yes, I loved that commercial. And what else were we talking about? The Energizer Bunny keeps going and going and going. Because it would be like a regular commercial. And then you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden it like interrupts and that bunny would like come across the screen. That's completely random, but fun commercials.
Cadbury,
The Cadbury
Bunny,
Bunny
yes.
commercials. See,
They
they
still
stick with,
show
like,
that.
yes. Yep.
Oh
I love
no,
that,
Jessica
Laura.
just joined us. Hi, Jessica. Sorry that you just got here, but you get 7 minutes with us.
You get 7 minutes with us, and we're recording, so we'll share this with you afterwards. I wonder,
A push.
you're gonna have to tell us, Diana, what that is. I don't know what that is. We'll dive into that.
Yeah,
And
so much
see here.
I didn't miss any questions. I mean, I don't see them in the Q&A box. If anybody put your questions in the chat box, we're sorry we didn't see them.
And we could actually check in with Danielle too. Danielle, has there been anything that we haven't hit on that you've seen in the chat box that we could touch on or answer any questions that you've seen come through?
Honestly, ladies, there are no questions, but I have to say, don't tell anybody else, but you guys, this has been my favorite Coffee Connections live chat. Like, look at this chat. So I thought it was so funny because you guys were chatting and it wasn't even for that long. And then all of a sudden we were talking about wedding anniversary gifts and then Air Force anniversary gifts. And then someone shared that their 8-month-old baby just propped himself up on the sofa for the first time. So she had a very memorable Coffee Connection live milestone moment with her precious little boy. So I thought that was sweet. But no, I love how much everyone's connecting. So I guess I'll just say, as a reminder, if you'd like to share your LinkedIn URLs, I know some people were sharing to all panelists. So I'll just take this opportunity to remind everyone to make sure you share it to all panelists and attendees. Because it looks like potentially some great friendships are being born today. But no questions, ladies. Thanks for checking with me.
Yeah, thanks, Danielle. Oh, I love it. That's so exciting. Good stuff. Well, we do have a couple upcoming events to promote, so make sure to check those out. We want to share those on our USO Facebook group. So if you're not a member of our USO Facebook group, check those out. We also have our military virtual programming events that if you haven't seen any of those yet or watched any of those yet, you definitely need to check them out. All of them are recorded. I just attended the James Vanderbeek conversation. I believe it was last week, a couple days ago. It was so good. Liz, what have you been watching?
I watched way back when they first started. They did an interview with the guys who were in the new Top Gun movie, and I'm a big Top Gun fan, like the original. So I loved that one. I'm super excited that coming up we're going to be talking to Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. I mean, the Avengers. Are you kidding me? This is big. I don't know if they're going to have as much fun as we've had, but just the chance to be able to talk to these people. Oh, Nicholas Sparks too. Yes. Yep. Who doesn't love The Notebook and all of Nicholas Sparks's work? So really big names coming up for the MVP con. Kristen Bell was amazing, Laura said. So I had to miss that. I think I was at the doctor with my little one. It's back to school time, so everyone's getting sick. Kelly Pickler, yes, she's awesome too. I'm so glad people have been taking advantage of these.
Yeah, no, this is great to see that they're watching. And then I saw the Hoda Kotb one. Oh, that was so good. She has so many wonderful words of wisdom and advice. So make sure to check that one out. Check them all out. I mean, they're so much fun. So
I would love Jamie, watch the Lowe's ones. I'm so happy to hear that you enjoyed those Lowe's ones. Those were a labor of love and so much fun to do DIY projects. And we're going to do them again next year. So stay tuned for more of those. And those are also recorded. So if y'all are on YouTube, just Google like USO MVP or USO Coffee Connections, or you can Google USO Lowe's DIY workshops. I know that's kind of a mouthful, but you can find the recordings of all this stuff that we've been doing to try to keep everybody connected this year, because it's oh so important. Yes, and USO.com/MVP.
And our next Coffee Connection Live is going to be October 23rd. It's with Dr. Shanita Williams from Southern New Hampshire University. She has a fabulous TED Talk out there. So make sure to sign up for that. We'll put the links in the chat. And then it's, again, we promote all of this information on our USO Facebook group. Liz, it has been so much fun having coffee with you. I learned so much every time we connect. So this has been a blast. Thank you, Danielle and Trish, for helping us on the sidelines. And thank you for all of the spouses joining us around the world. This has been so much fun. And Liz, I'll let you give closing remarks and we'll call it a day.
That's a lot to follow up. Thank you, Nicole, for this. And thank you, Danielle. And thank you, everyone in the chat box. This is so much fun when we can see the chats popping up and when we get to interact with you, because we're MilSpouses too, and we love meeting new people and we love connecting with all of you. So thank you so much for being here with us today, everybody, and for your participation. Jill, I'm giving you an extra special virtual high five for being here from Okinawa. I hope you're not exhausted tomorrow, but thank you so much for joining us. Any last opportunities to put your LinkedIn profile in or to check out any of the USO websites is all in the chat box. Otherwise, find us on Facebook, and we'll see you next month for our next Coffee Connection Live. Thanks, everybody.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Bye.